we best kind of come back a little bit to understand a little bit more about the origins of the Feldenkrais method.
It was originated by Dr. Moshe Feldenkrais, and he was an Israeli physicist, martial artist, and mechanical engineer. And his background from the early ages as a young man was in martial arts and labor. He was a laborer and a martial artist, and he immigrated from Russia to Palestine at the age of 14, and he put himself through school, but martial arts was a significant part of his development in his adolescence and in his youth.
Yeah.
And he went on to write 5 books on martial arts. And even in his youth, so his writings, he's approaching things in a unique way. So he's studying reactions in people. So I've heard this story where he'd have a friend with a camera, and they startle another friend coming out of a doorway, and he gets a picture of how the guy responds. He goes, well, how do you turn that into a technique, a defense technique? They take a person's second nature way of responding to something and modify it to be something better, right? It sounds like something I just described earlier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right? So even as a young man, you could see the thinking. Yeah. And so he's very interested in the mind and the body. He, in his late teens, early 20s, he translated a book of Emile Coué's. You know Emile Coué? Mm-hmm. He was an early pioneer in hypnosis and autosuggestion. Yeah. And so he translated that into Hebrew and added a couple of chapters relating to somatic applications, which I've republished as Thinking and Doing.
Right.
Also available on my website. So he goes on to become a judo master. When he goes to France, he meets Kano. He's one of the first Westerners to get a black belt in judo. And you can see in his writings and his thinking that it lays a very solid foundation in his origins of movement. And you get to his last martial arts book, Higher Judo, and you can see in this book, if you go through the first 2 chapters and you change the word judo for Feldenkrais method, they are synonymous at this time. He wrote that book at the same time he was writing Body and Mature Behavior. There's overlap at this point in time. One is giving birth to the other.
Right.
Changing from a fighting defense art into a healing, learning system.
Yeah.
Very fascinating.